So with my code, I've got movement, and with the movement, I've got input action jump. The input action jump is a key, so when the key is pressed, I jump. And the key settings are in the project settings underneath the axis mapping. And the axis mapping for the jump is on the Z axis. So when the key space or W is pressed, I jump along the Z axis but no other axis. Then I've got input axis move sideways. So when I press either A or D, which is set up in the project settings, whenever I press A or D along the X value, which is horizontally, I move sideways. So if I'm pressing A or D along the X axis, I move sideways. As well as the movement, I've then got the animations. I've got the animation state machine. So this is playing every second for the game engine as the game is playing. This is playing the entire time. When I hit play, the animation state machine uses flipbooks and the sprite flipbooks. What it does is it gets the float values for the control rotation, which is get the player controller and set the rotation along the Z-axis, which is vertically where he's facing, left or right. So this set control rotation and the values, that's basically saying that when you're running right, make sure when you're running right, you're facing right. When you're running left, you're facing left. It flips the sprite on the Z-axis, so you're facing the right way when you're running, and it does that by comparing a float, getting the player controller, and flipping it based on your direction. In order to do the actual animations, the walk is getting a velocity, which is, if it's not equal to 0, and if I'm moving, I'm basically walking. So it is walking, and that plays a walking flipbook. And then I've got a shoot and a run. And the input action shoot, so when the key is pressed on the input action shoot, which is V, it plays the attack animation, and then the attack animation is the flipbook, and it's sent to the animation state machine. Same with the shoot, and then the jump as character movement is falling. Falling is already built in, it's set up on the Z axis, so if I'm moving along the Z axis, no matter what, up or down vertically, I am playing the jump animation in the animation state machine. The animation state machine it's got the animation state machine values again, and it's basically checking whether they're true or false. And it goes where the bottom one is the one that's most likely to happen, the top one is the least likely to happen. So if I'm shooting, then I'm shooting, and it'll play the flipbook attack. So if I'm shooting, I'm attacking in the flipbook. If I'm not shooting, I'm jumping. If I'm not jumping, I should be running. If I'm not running, I should be walking. If I'm not walking, I should be idle. And it's set up where idle is the thing you'll probably be doing most. It'll check if you're idle first. Well, it'll check if you're shooting first, and then it'll go down the list. So if you're not doing anything, you should be idle. If you're not doing anything, you'll be standing still. And then it checks all these, and it also checks for each flipbook. These are the different flipbooks referenced. And as well as the movement and the animation state machine to play the animations, I've got a HUD. The HUD is just a simple progress bar for health, just here based on percentages. And then I've connected the progress bar to Jim the Blueprint, which is the player character, a 2D paper character. So I've set the progress health bar to Jim, and Jim has a health variable on him as a float set to 1. So, and Jim is a player character, so I cast it to Jim on the blueprint, and then from Jim's blueprint I get the variable health, and then return the value health of 1. So it's checking Jim's variable health at all times, which is a float in decimal. So, and this will update the progress bar based on Jim's health in the blueprint. So if Jim's health in the blueprint is 0.7, it will then be displayed as 0.7 on the progress bar. That's the health system, and then on Jim, all I've got is that variable set to a value of 1. And then I've got the thing that actually affects the progress bar. I'm losing health, which is the damaged player. And what I've done for this is added a blueprint actor with a blocks collision, and when Jim, the blueprint Jim overlaps the box collision, it targets the variable Jim's health again, and it sets whatever Jim's current health is to lose 2, where the float lose 2. So it gets Jim's current health, so it sets Jim's current health to -2. And it's the same for the add health as well. It checks Jim's health, and then it will add +2 for the heal player. So for the heal player, it's the same box collision. When you overlap it, cast it to the blueprint Jim. From Jim, get the variable health, set health to +0.3 based on Jim's current health based on the value of Jim's current health.